to the house, my children! Last year we got to stay in the nice house on the lake and meet its occupants, the last people left on Earth, according to their old friend and lover Walter. But now, the rules have changed. At the end of the first volume, it was revealed that Walter had secretly hidden an 11th member at the house, Reg, and that he suspects that the world has not actually been destroyed and they may have a chance to save it. Walter, however, cannot abide this interference and has reset the group and their memories, as if he was always a part of them and he never revealed himself, nor the fate of the world. As far as they know, they are merely trapped there for the fun weekend, but cannot escape the area or contact the outside world, save for the packages they request. He also has removed Nora from the group, who is understandably angry about being left in darkness and resentment, that Walter never truly knew her, just a false version of her that he made up in his head. Personally, I think you're a bit ungrateful. The dark is the safest place to be. You can always be your true self there. Deciding to test the limits of what they can request, they actually start having Reg design blueprints for additional buildings, more houses, or at least areas to do work. When the first attempt they order succeeds, they make plans with Reg to build even more. Walter goes to see Nora, finally granting her some freedom behind a mirror in the new building. All the same amenities as the nice house, but unable to interact with the others, save for Walter. See? All the horror comics and movies you could ever want! You think I could rent this place for myself? Walter tries to get Nora to understand that he's trying to do the right thing, while also having problems with the others. Not major ones, but Walter's attitude about the situation seems a bit suspicious to them. He's so calm and seems to want to stick around while they all plan on working on escape. Nora says that the problem is that as long as they think the world is waiting for them, they'll never stop trying to escape. And then there's Ryan, replacement for Reg in the group, but also the odd woman out, as she doesn't know everyone as well as the rest do. She wanders into the new building, leaning up against the mirror to try to collect her thoughts, and her breath on the glass allows Nora to communicate with her, to tell her the truth about Walter and what he has done to them. He tells her that Walter wants to be loved for saving them, wanting to control them, but that they can fight back. She has a plan and needs Ryan to come to the other house that night. Nora convinces Walter that in order to understand his position, to understand everything from his point of view, they need to be on more equal footing, to see how he controls things. And as such, he takes her to the control center inside the second house, Ryan following behind them. The controls allow Walter power over the environment, their memories, and especially their bodies. What they look like, their aging, and keeping them from being harmed. Speaking of, while all this goes down, Reg and Arturo, the acupuncturist, have learned of their invulnerability when they tried to have an acupuncture session to relax Reg from all the designing he's been doing. Walter says that the design of all this came from Reg while he was inside the house, to match the aesthetics of the place, like the mysterious statues all around the area, and that even he has controls. Walter has technology that allows him to take on the form they see, his own aging, healing, and invulnerability. Nora says that what Walter needs to do now is let everyone have all their memories back, make his case to them, and why they shouldn't just try to kill him. He says that won't work. It's not like this is his alien invasion. He's just one part of the alien force. If he gives them that power and control, his superiors will find out what they've done and kill them all. Win-win to me. We either get more potential for body horror or lots of people getting killed. Ah, but there's an additional problem. See, the cell they find themselves in is supposed to be a balanced human ecosystem. 10 exceptional human beings embodying different aspects of humanity. But as you may have counted, there are 11 people. When Reg stopped cooperating with Walter, he decided to bring in Ryan to be the replacement artist, but could not bring himself to kill Reg or figure out how to undo whatever hints he left himself about coming back here, so he just hid him. and now has an additional person in Ryan. Just like before, if his superiors find out there are 11 people in there, they will destroy them all. The two leave and Ryan accesses the controls, hoping to use them to restore their memories and disable Walter's invulnerability. She succeeds, but she does it for everyone at the worst possible time, when the others were testing their invulnerability by shooting each other. And poor Naya, Rick's wife and doctor of the group, is shot and killed. And that's when you realize with this issue that she's the only one who hasn't gotten a segment in the beginning of an issue showing the apocalyptic future of the lake. They all remember now, hoping that Walter can fix it, but Reg is also worried because all of his memories have been restored, including his part in building this place. He knows they need to keep Walter from regaining control. Walter goes to the others and apologizes. He cannot undo what has happened to Naya. A flashback to earlier in their confinement reveals that Walter had a private conversation with Nora in a sensory deprivation tank, and that the two of them together have been playing a much longer game. Nora has been telling Walter that this plan would never work for years, that the group would never accept living in a gilded cage as long as they were forced into it. They need to know that there's no going home regardless of anything else. And Nora predicted the whole thing, that she would feel resentful for how they've been treated, that she would need to be shown the controllers, and that they'll make a whole song and dance about killing him, then let their friends decide his fate. And Nora and Walter will have to trust the other to not reject the plan once it's in place or reveal it to the others. And soon enough, the plan comes to fruition. Walter tells Ryan that they have to make a choice now on how to proceed. With Naya dead, there are now only 10 of them, so that problem is solved, though either she or Reg are going to need to learn some basic medicine to keep up the assigned roles. As such, if they vote on it, they can kill Walter and take over the place. It will be at least a century before his superiors come to check on them, and as long as they are doing as they're supposed to within the ecosystem, they'll get over how they killed him. However, they also need to outperform the other ecosystems. Yes, it is revealed that they are not the only group of survivors in this little experiment. Although as I make this video, my children, they are only now releasing the sequel that follows up on that. The rest of the group arrives and they vote on how to proceed, that they elect to kill Walter. He apologizes about all this. He says that all he ever wanted when he met and fell in love with them was to save them all. They weren't the humans he was supposed to save, but he loved them too much to lose them. And this is the only way they can proceed. He accepts his fate and Ryan shoots him dead. And from there, they need to figure out how to live with themselves from now on. While Walter, still quite alive, as had been the plan with Nora should it come to this, explains that she has to trust that Nora's desire to live and for them all to live will override everything else. But Walter reveals he had even more secrets than Nora knew, that there is something else waiting for them in the future, and that while they would eventually make peace within the house and build a life there, that they would have to eventually fight to keep the peace they had made. Nice House on the Lake is a story that makes you think, makes you cry, and makes you terrified. And we can only hope that its follow-up, The Nice House on the Sea, can live up to it.